I pulled up a couple of example studies just to kind of get the conversation going even more. So for example, there was a nice study, it's an oldie but goodie now, but it's a 2012 study, and it's titled Proton Pump Inhibitor Use and the Risk of Small Intestinal Bacterial Overgrowth, a Meta-Analysis. And in this study, they said, particularly, subgroup analysis revealed an association between SIBO and PPI use in studies that use duodenal or jejunal aspirate cultures to diagnose SIBO. But no relationship was found between SIBO and PPI use in studies that used glucose hydrogen breath tests. Well, A, are they only testing for hydrogen and not methane? Because that seems to be part of the implication. B, breath tests, that might not be the best way to assess for SIBO. So they're saying that if you use the better test, which isn't super useful for us, like I'm not going to send people out for an aspirate, but it does paint the picture of, oh, well, maybe it is associated, but some of these newer studies might not be addressing this. And they even say right in the conclusion, PPI use was statistically associated with SIBO risk, but only when the diagnosis was made by a highly accurate test, duodenal or jejunal aspirate culture. So, that's something to chew on too, is that not only could there be a difference in like funding and the people who are influencing these studies, but also, are they taking into account the type of testing? And there was another one that I came across, a 2018 study, and they specifically mentioned that they used a funnel plot asymmetry to basically look and see if there was any publication bias. And they did identify some of the studies that probably had publication bias. So that's my other thing, is like, are you looking at these studies looking for publication bias, even if the authors of the meta-analysis didn't have ulterior motives and didn't have, funding or biases that would influence the meta-analysis and the writing of that? Maybe there's been a whole slew of new studies in the last 2, 3, 4 years that have been funded by or influenced by the pharmaceutical companies, and now we're mixing all of that in with the previous data, and now it's looking like it's not statistically significant. But if they're not looking for the bias in the publications that they're using for the meta-analysis, then that kind of goes out the window, and the meta-analysis is not very useful now, is it? So anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Science is complicated, guys. That's like the overarching theme here. But I would be highly skeptical of the idea that research, which is highly influenced by and funded by big pharma, I would be highly suspicious whenever they tell you, no, bro, keep taking your drug. You're good. Wink.
Yeah. With the wink, that's how you really know.
Yeah, that's how you know for sure.
You can sense the wink in the meta-analysis. You can sense that wink.
They'll put the winky emoji in.
Yeah.
That's how you know.